Six Impossible Things Before Breakfast looks back at artworks to expand ways of thinking about them. The exhibit welcomes and validates alternative readings, especially from new audiences who encounter the works for the first time. Charles Buenconsejo utilizes photography and digital media as a tool for erasure and reconstruction. In this piece, he deletes human figures in a landscape and then relocates and isolates the same figures in a void. His strategy plays with spatial displacement to disorient the way he perceives space and time. By extracting people from their context, physical location becomes conceptual. In this painting by Dharma Bum, a figure emerges from an ecotopia. The scene suggests imagination run wild. The artist's application of streaked, dripping paint and her use of raw, unstretched canvas are choices more concerned with atmosphere. By keeping the painting unframed, she rejects formal boundaries of completion, allowing the work to feel unfinished, like a scene in flux. The viewer enters a space that is mystical, yet grounded in the physical world. J.C. Jacinto hybridizes organic and industrial by exploring the process of plastoglomerate formation. Considered a potential marker of the Anthropocene, plastiglomerates form over time when extreme heat melts plastic waste. The molten plastic cools and hardens, trapping and cementing together the organic matter around it, like sand, rocks, shells, and other debris. The artist confronts this collision of nature and synthetic waste through sculptures that are unrecognizable and biomorphic, a simulacrum of mutated specimens. They seem to belong in an apocalyptic world where biochemical remnants are part of the post-industrial landscape. The flowing, irregular shapes of Marian Contreras' textile piece can resemble shifting topographies, something visceral and alive. Her work challenges structured, patriarchal forms of traditional art, deconstructing and reshaping textile as a commentary on feminist materiality. She resists rigid binaries by employing craft techniques to elucidate a range of themes, from the diaristic and personal to broader social issues on environment and migration. Christopher Ardenia paints over the images on found tarpaulin. He renders flowers using elastomeric paint, which once dry can be cracked to reveal clues of the images concealed underneath. His use of tropical materials for art is an attempt to redefine painting in the local context. Paint cracking reflects the performative aspect of the Philippine fiesta. The propensity for constructing a veneer to mask hidden truths is indicative of the complex society he lives in, one that is fragmented in ideology, yet commonly concerned with how it culturally presents itself. Johnny Alcazaran uses ready-mades to interrupt our habitual way of seeing. His work is infused with a playful absurdity that reflects Filipino resourcefulness in creatively adapting to limiting circumstances. While satirical, the work is also intensely introspective, much like Filipino laughter hovering over serious truths. The artist demonstrates that even mundane objects can be catalysts for societal critique. A lamp is typically a source of illumination, yet for this object by Le Cruz, it is obscured and ambiguous. The skin-like fabric stretched over its structure transforms it into a sculptural piece comprising two chairs fastened together as a base. It emits a purple glow, providing mood more than clarity. The fabric is reminiscent of a membrane, establishing tension between concealment and exposure, moving the work beyond the purely functional. its futuristic form can be a device for science fiction. Jose Solon Perfecto's sculptural ceramics explore the concepts of evolution and stagnation through deconstructed wheel-thrown pieces. His work uses the language of Filipino table culture and the consideration of terroir, the relationship between studio environment and practice, exploring how land and artist interact. The objects are physical manifestations of tension and repair, hurting and healing, chaos and calmness. Costantino Ziccarelli's works rest at the point between beauty and ruin. Despite the prevailing gloom at first glance, one will find that the artist is preoccupied with the moment before the inevitable, where belief hangs suspended in the air, along with a hazy acceptance. His recent works show an interest in a making up for lost space, reacquainting himself with his dual heritage by creating identities as landscapes. Wally Oliviette's robot-like sculpture blends human forms with machine aesthetics. The chaotic yet deliberate composition of toy figurines within its torso may symbolize consumerism, childhood nostalgia, or the overwhelming influence of global pop culture. Its Frankenstein-like assembly creates a camp yet eerie appearance, forcing humor and discomfort to coexist. The work recalls metamodernism, a post-human world where discarded fragments give rise to strange new entities. In Neil Pasilan's painting, a spiritual vision or mystical presence looms over a woman in prayer. Floating spheres and abstracted plants in the background convey an enchanted forest. In the Philippines, indigenous animistic rituals have continued alongside introduced religious beliefs, resulting in a distinct hybrid spirituality. This belief system is filled with superstition. The sightings of angels or supernatural beings are often seen as omens and messages. For common folk, especially in places outside of the capital, such as Negros Island where the artist is from, these two dimensions overlap on a regular basis. Ella Mendoza blends the origins of pottery as humans' first vessels for food with present-day technology of containing and preserving food using disposable packaging. Through mastery of material, she shapes the clay into forms of vacuum-packed meat, playing with the irony of medium and form. Here I am reading Jason Oliveira's comment on his painting, Quack. I came across the story of Da Vinci as a child. He was out walking and saw ducks in a pond. It was then that he made his first drawing. Ducks are often depicted as stupid in cartoons and paintings, while it is universally accepted that Da Vinci is a genius. I like Andy Warhol's do-it-yourself series based on the mass-produced model of instructional paint-by-numbers kits, a reaction against the then-reigning style of abstract expressionism and a key moment in the beginning of pop art. Jason Oliveira on his painting, The Doberman. The Doberman is a rabbit-duck illusion. There is no dog in the painting at all. After being used by psychologist Jason Jastrow, the duck-rabbit image was made famous by Ludwig Wittgenstein, who included it in his philosophical investigations as a means of describing two different ways of seeing that versus seeing as. On a note, the duck-rabbit drawing was first used by Joseph Jastrow in 1899 to make the point that perception is not only what one sees, but also a mental activity. I like Albert Olen's painting of a stag dressed in a shirt and a suit, with its eyes and mouth open in stupefaction, a corporeal hybrid of a man and a beast.